Hey everyone, this is Peter from Roland. I'm here at American Musical Supply talking about the Roland FANTOM. FANTOM is a professional grade music synthesizer. It has really cool sound design features on the right that let you shape sounds on a very deep level, and it has a great performance section on the left that lets you layer different sounds and assign different controls, which is really perfect for playing live. It has a gorgeous touch screen that lets you navigate really easily between basic and advanced settings depending on what you want to do, and it also has a sequencer that's really fluid to use if I want to start to track ideas. It's a really kind of great, well-designed keyboard that's fit for a professional studio or somebody that is a gigging musician. The FANTOM has a huge collection of sounds that let you get started, whether you're building up live sets or you want to start kind of tracking ideas. And you can take all of these sounds and start to adjust it with the sound design panels or the sound design controls on the right-hand side. So if I had this basic pad here, I could start to use the filter section to adjust the cutoff or the resonance or mess with the envelope settings as well. And I can also see a visual representation of my controls on the screen. Now, layering sounds is really easy. All I need to do is activate an additional zone and use the faders here to adjust the volume. Getting into the sound design is really fluid between the hands-on controls and the touchscreen. So if I want to start to manipulate that pad that I was using, I can jump in, take a look at the different types of sounds that I'm using, but also hit any of these parameter keys to access that specific type of section. So I can see that there's multiple filter models that I can choose between. I can also navigate to the envelopes, the LFO destinations, certain things to do with the pitch, and the oscillator settings. I mean, really anything that you could feasibly want to adjust. And for more detailed oriented sound designers, I can easily jump into the Pro section and navigate through an extremely large list of stuff that I can use to manipulate these different types of sounds. So it's a really kind of comprehensive way to build patches from scratch or start to adjust things that are already made in the FANTOM. One of the things that I like to mess around with is the step LFO, which is a great way to add animation to a sound. And it's really easy to apply it. I can just go to the LFO destination, turn up the filter depth, and select LFO from the LFO screen here. And then I can either use the touch screen to make these adjustments or the knobs to change things like the LFO curve type, things like the depth. It's a really kind of fun way to experiment with sound and come up with something that you don't necessarily know what it's going to sound like, but it's more of a hands-on way to kind of explore what the possibilities are. The Phantom's mentality is that it doesn't have any modes. Every feature of the Phantom is running all the time, and that means that it's really fluid to start sequencing your sound ideas using the sequencer. So I can go to a scene that has a sequence already built up a little bit. I can experiment with the sounds that I have in the scene already. And then also play the sequence. And use the pattern sequencer here to change the different patterns live, or I can also set it up so that it's playing one at a time. When sequencing ideas on the Phantom, you could do it either live recording or use the step sequencer to layer in different types of drums. This is really fun to use if I want to kind of experiment with ideas in a more traditional Roland fashion. So I can select this rim shot here, put in the notes on the sequencer, and then play it back to hear what I come up with. It's so easy to navigate between different types of sounds and tracks, so it's a really fun sequencer to use if I'm just coming up with ideas or need some inspiration. At any point in time, I can also connect a USB cable to my computer and stream all of these tracks into a DAW. So whether I'm just using it for MIDI or for actual audio from the Phantom, it's a great level of connectivity to have. The I/O on the Phantom is massive. They have different types of output formats, assignable outputs, a direct output of the analog filter. There's different CV and gate outputs as well, which is great for modular or Eurorack. There's external device inputs that are meant for general MIDI devices. So if I had another keyboard or some sort of knob controller, I can hook that up just with a USB cable and use it to control different parts of the Phantom. It's a really cool feature to have. There's also different XLR inputs as well for sampling or routing a vocalist into the Phantom, and there's different types of pedal inputs and MIDI outputs and inputs. So it's really the centerpiece of some comprehensive live rig or a professional grade studio, or it functions really great as just a standalone piece of gear that you can use to perform or produce music with. Speaking of Phantom's connectivity, the Phantom can connect with Logic and MainStage on a very deep level. You can see all of the smart controls that Logic has displayed on the screen when you're in DAW control mode. So here I have Alchemy called up, and I can start to adjust the controls in real time. And I can also blend this in with the internal sounds of the Phantom. Currently, DAW control is enabled for Logic and Mainstage, but we have plans to extend it to other DAWs in the future. Once again, I'm Peter from Roland. This is the Phantom synthesizer. For more information on that or other Roland products, go to americanmusical.com.